Raymond and Alyssa. This is the story of a good guy gone bad and a bad girl gone worse. Raymond's last relationship ended badly, so badly that he spent the better part of the next 2 years single. It would be an understatement to say that he was pretty broken up about the way his ex treated him. Well, there's an old saying that talks about time heals all wounds, and Raymond's heart was no exception. Raymond had learned a lesson or two about relationships for sure, and he fancied himself a man who was a little bit older and a whole lot wiser. At least that's what his mindset was on the night he met Alyssa. I won't go into all the details about how pretty she was, but suffice it to say she really caught Raymond's eye. And though she was beautiful, I think it was her personality that broke through his cautious defenses. She was tender and caring and intelligent and seemingly infatuated with Raymond. Little by little they got to know each other, and before you know it, they were a full-fledged couple. All of Raymond's friends were happy for him. Raymond certainly deserved to have a good partner in his life. The relationship was amazing and getting better all the time. That's what Raymond told all his friends. But of course, we couldn't see what went on behind closed doors. It would turn out that what was hiding behind door number 1 would be a huge surprise to everyone. One day I received a call from Raymond stating that he had left the house that he shared with Alyssa, and that he wasn't sure he'd be going back again. "Why do you say that?" I asked.
Because we've been fighting a lot and I don't want to end up in jail.
Damn, is it really that bad?
Yeah, man, she threw dishes at me and called me every name in the book.
Well, maybe she'll cool down after a while. "What started the fight?" I said.
Nothing. She just randomly flipped out and started calling me stupid. She made fun of my job. She told me I don't make enough money to support a grown woman, let alone one with a kid.
"Wow," I said, trying to imagine that sweet little Alyssa behaving this way. "How long has this been going on?" I probed.
For months now. I have tried everything to reason with her, but when she gets like this, there's no way to calm her down.
I knew that I was only hearing one side of this story, so I probed a little deeper. "Are you sure that you didn't maybe do some small thing to trigger her? Maybe you made an innocent comment that she took the wrong way?"
No, man. I've asked her what the problem was, and all she could say is that I'm a piece of shit.
Damn.
I have tried talking to her where she's calmed down, but it's no use. She still randomly goes off on me, and it comes with no warning signs. She did tell me that she had some kind of diagnosis or something and that she's supposed to be taking medication. But she said to me that she doesn't like taking pills.
Jeez, what kind of diagnosis?
I don't remember, but I told her she's got to take her meds or it'll be the end of us. Oh boy, why did I say that? In a single eye blink, she was raging on me once again. I have been too embarrassed to tell anybody. And now it's escalated to the point that I'm afraid I might put my hands on her.
Well, that's pretty drastic. I'm glad you're leaving then.
Yeah, I agree.
She must have said something awful for you to consider hitting her, I stated.
It wasn't just what she said. I think my breaking point was when she hit me in the face with a coffee mug and then she clawed me across my face.
What? I asked.
Yeah, I had 4 lines across my face. I looked like I had a fight with Wolverine.
Damn, I said. That was all I could say. I felt like the worst friend in the world. As much as I wanted to help, I just had no answers for him.
That's not even the worst of it.
Holy shit, there's more?
Yeah, when she scratched my face, I yelled. While I was screaming in pain, she spit right into my open mouth. That's when I punched her.
You punched her? I asked.
Yeah, right in the face. I knocked her down.
Oh my god, is she okay?
Yeah, she bounced right back up like she wanted more. That's when I grabbed some of my things and left. I can't handle this, man.
I don't blame you one bit, buddy. If you need anything, just let me know what I can do. I found out later that Alyssa and Raymond's relationship did not end that night. Apparently, he came back and left again several times over the next few weeks. It seems that never got any better despite all of Raymond's efforts. Then the night came that I will never forget. Raymond called me from the city jail. He told me that he had been arrested. "Hey man, what the hell happened?" I asked.
Dude, it was the same old shit. She started in on me, telling me how I'd never amount to anything. She said that I was a bum and that my mom must be at least half mental for giving birth to a loser like me.
"Shit," I said.
Then she grabbed my phone and threw it in the sink while the sink was full of water. When I reached into the water to get it, she clocked me in the back of my head with something hard and I passed out.
What the fuck?
I must have been out for a while because when I woke up, I was laying on the kitchen floor. My head felt like I had been struck by lightning. When I rose to my feet, I saw blood everywhere. I grabbed the back of my head to see how much damage she did to me. The back of my head was wet. I was bleeding pretty badly, but there was no way all that blood came from me. I mean, there was blood on the ceiling, walls, windows, everywhere. As I was looking around the room, trying to figure out what was going on, I heard loud pounding on the front door. Still in a daze, I got up and walked unsteadily to the door. I was trying to be careful not to slip in a pool of blood. When I opened the front door, I found myself looking down the barrel of several police guns all aimed at me.
Wow. So what happened then? I asked.
One of the cops snatched me out of the house and shoved me into the back of a squad car and started questioning me. Meanwhile, the other cops ran into the house.
Did they arrest her? And why are they holding you?
They didn't arrest her.
Why not? She was the offender.
Because they found her dead.
Silence now. I was in shock. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. Dead? I asked.
Yeah, and the cops kept asking me why I did it. I told them that I didn't know what they were talking about. Eventually, I found out that she had been stabbed to death. Stabbed 11 times and her throat had been cut.
Jesus, dude, I said.
Man.
Narrator. Oh my God, it was what I was thinking. But again, I remained silent.
Dude, I don't even know what happened. I got hit in the head and when I woke up, I was in a living nightmare. And nobody believes in my story.
Raymond's court date was 6 months out. He was denied bail, so he sat in jail night and day in what I can only imagine to be a living hell. His family hired an attorney, and what turned out to be a damn good private eye. The private would provide enough evidence to get Raymond's case thrown out. A story even more incredible than the one that Raymond was already telling. A story that proved Raymond's innocence. Raymond came by my house a week after he was released from jail. He came to say goodbye. He told me that he wanted to tell me in person. He had packed up all his things and was moving far away from this town, he said. He mentioned something about an uncle who had a farm in Idaho. So this is it? When are you coming back to visit? I inquired.
Never. Dude, I'm out of here and I'm not looking back.
I guess he was pretty traumatized by all the things he had been through, and I couldn't blame him. All he wanted to do was find a good girl and have a good life. He found anything but. So Ray, about that night? I asked hesitantly. He looked me in the eyes with a blank stare. He looked like he was lost in another world. It was like he was looking at me and looking through me at the same time.
After splitting my head open, that crazy bitch stabbed herself 11 times. 11 deep stab wounds. Any one of those wounds could have killed her. Then as she lay dying, she used her superhuman psycho strength to slit her own throat. She cut so hard and deep that she damn near severed her own head. Then threw the knife over by me and dialed 911 as she bled out.
Silence filled the room.
Dude, the cops had me cold. Nobody in the world believed me, and they definitely never considered that she might have inflicted these wounds on herself. It didn't even seem possible.
I could hear his breathing become ragged as my eyes stayed locked on his.
The private investigator made a discovery that basically saved my life. He found her medical records. They showed that she had a history of suicide attempts. He also got hold of the police reports filed by her exes stating that she had assaulted each one of them. She had stabbed one of her exes so hard that he was in the hospital for a week. He also found out about an ex of hers who was in prison. He was found guilty of hitting her in the face with a hammer. This poor guy, who had been in jail for 2 years, always maintained his innocence. And his version of the story was that after starting one of many fights with him, she picked up a hammer, dialed 911, then started hitting herself in the face. He said that she knocked out 3 of her teeth and rendered herself unconscious. It was open and shut case. He didn't have a chance. Nobody, including his own family, believed him. Even though the investigator presented all this information to the cops, they still wouldn't let me go. Finally, the private eye found the evidence that would set me and the other ex free. He found her journal. She had been keeping a record of everything. Every fight, every psychotic incident that she had been a part of, for years. I don't know if she was planning to write a book or what, but it was all there. She wrote down in her journal everything she had done to her previous boyfriend, including beating herself with a hammer, lying to the police, and sending that poor guy to prison. She also wrote about her relationship with me.
My silence was deafening. And this time, it wasn't because I had no words. It was because I had too many words, too many questions, and I didn't know where to begin, so I just kept listening. His eyes remained locked on mine, and I started to feel overwhelmingly sad for him. I felt inadequate as a friend because I knew that there was nothing I could do to comfort him except look him in the eye and listen. Ray. I started to speak.
Dude, he interrupted. She wrote it all down beforehand. Her plan was to set me up. Her diary literally detailed everything from throwing my phone into the sink to hitting me in the back of my head, to stabbing herself and finally calling the cops. The funny thing is that she ended this final chapter of her journal the same way she ended all the chapters in her journal. It said, "If I can't have him, then nobody will."
Raymond turned and faced the door. With his back to me, he spoke again. This time there was a slight tremble in his voice.
It's crazy, man. If it wasn't for her insane need to journal, I'd be in prison right now, for life. Maybe I owe her some sort of thanks. Maybe this was all somehow my fault. She just wanted love like everybody else. But I just didn't know how to give it to her the way she needed it.
Raymond opened the door and stepped onto my porch and paused. With his back to me, he said,
It's crazy, man. If it wasn't for her being a lunatic, I would have never been in this situation. But if it wasn't for her being insane enough to keep that journal, I'd be in prison right now. Maybe I owe her some sort of thanks.
Ray, hold up, man, I interrupted.
Nah, man, I know what you're gonna say. I've had a lot of time to think this over. But you know what? It doesn't really matter at the end of the day. I just know I'm done. Fuck it all. I'm going far away and I'm leaving all that love shit to you lucky guys.
I could hear him struggling to keep his voice steady. An intense sadness filled the air, and now my eyes were wet.
I love you, bro.
Those were the last words that I would ever hear Raymond say. I got a phone call the next day from Raymond's parents. Raymond got into a single car accident on his way to Idaho. The police report says he hit a tree doing over 90 miles per hour. There were no signs that he had even tried to slow down.